Hi everybody, how's it going? I had a pretty good sleep. Like my sleep's getting better, but then again, I knew that would happen. Um, this is how these insomnia cycles tend to work. I tend to get better, like I tend to go through a period of really bad sleep, and then my sleep tends to get a little bit better over time. Um, yeah, just wanted to talk a little bit about what was going on this morning. Okay, so I woke up this morning about, I don't know, like late into the hours of 10 o'clock in the morning, which is pretty early for me, I'm sorry to say. Next thing I know, I hear the kids screaming who I was petitioning to last night at the top of their lungs. And for me, it's not the children's fault. Once again, this is a situation where children have been weaponized and their openness and their frankness has been weaponized to get at me, right? So this is an example where their openness has been weaponized against me. Now, I did not realize the children were still upstairs. If I'd have known, I probably would have been a little bit quieter. But this is my thing, right? It's one thing for me to be quiet as a neighbor, and it's another thing for me to have to guard my practices just in case another family starts shouting their mouth off and being xenophobic, which is exactly what this is. So with the last family, I had to deal with racism and the xenophobia around my craft. Like all of that came into it. Now I got to deal with xenophobia. Now, because this family couldn't find anything to antagonize me with, the knocks at the door last night, like, because they couldn't find anything to antagonize me with, now this is what they decide to antagonize me with, my spiritual practices, which they know means something to me, which they know I use for serious purposes, and I don't just use it for my own gain. I use it for my own gain. I'm not saying I don't, but I don't just use it for my own gain. I use it for other people as well. So they know I do that, and they're still out here shouting their mouth off like it's something to do. My thing is this, right? If I was a Christian and I was praying and I was, and I was talking about the name of Jesus, that this is something that, like, the name of Jesus is something that I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem talking about Jesus. I don't have a problem talking about Christ. I don't have a problem talking about the Bible. I got no problems with it because I'm comfortable and secure in what I believe. Okay? I have no problem talking about Jesus or the Bible or anything like that. But if I was talking about Jesus, if I was talking about Christ, something these people were familiar with, they would have taken that as something that could not be used against me, and they wouldn't be shouting their mouth off about it. That's the truth of the matter. They wouldn't be shouting their mouth off about it. And like I said, they got a business right below them. Everybody heard them talking about who I'm making my petitions to. And I don't talk about this stuff. I don't talk about it. And I don't talk about it for a reason, because my spirituality is very sacred to me. I should not have to guard against being loud in order to practice something that's important to me. Just like I don't expect, if I expect somebody who worships Jesus and loves Jesus with their whole heart, I don't expect them to quieten down their love for their God. When it comes to other people's religions, I'm respectful. Now, what I do is not a religion, granted. But when it comes to other people's religions and other people's practices, I am respectful for a reason. It's because spirituality is a very important thing. It's not something to be played with. And it's not something to be weaponized either. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say that this is why I've been keeping my cool. I've been keeping my mouth shut. Because if anybody is doing something untoward and anybody's being the aggressor, it's not going to be me. And if anybody is affecting somebody else's business, it is not going to be me. Okay? It's not going to be me. So, and even now, I just want to point out to everybody, even now, when it came to leaving this place, I wanted to leave this place because I knew that the gang stalkers would be firing radio frequencies at this building, not only to attack me, but to attack that family. And I wanted to leave as quickly as possible to protect them, even though I knew they were perps. I wanted to leave to protect them. That's the first thing. Second thing is, when I was going through the worst I could possibly go through, 30th of November, 2025, and that person from that house approached me, they will tell you, well they're not going to tell you, but I wasn't aggressive to them. I could have been aggressive to them. That was at a point where my anger was at its absolute peak. And even when my anger was at its absolute peak and I wanted to kick Emma Logan's head off, when this person here asked me, are you okay? I was still respectful. Even at the height of my anger, even though I was nearly blind with anger, I was still like, they just won't stop. I wasn't taking it out on them. And in fact, after they did that, after they were kind to me, I gave them a gift. I gave them a bouquet of flowers, even though, like, you know, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big thing for me. I just gave them a gift just to show I appreciate what they did for me. This is why even at this moment, even though they've been violating me left and right with this gang stalking stuff, there's a reason why I'm not insulting them. There's a reason why I'm not calling them out their name. It's because there are times where they treated me like a human being, even though they did not have to, even though they were already perps by the time their Logans moved out. And they still treated me like human beings. In spite of all of that, they still treated me like I was a human. They still treated me like, you know, I was a person. They still did that. They didn't have to. But when you start violating my spiritual practices, just so that you can have something to yell about, and you do it for the whole village to fucking hear you, because remember, they got a business down there, nail bar, right? When you do it for the whole fucking village to hear you, that's when the gloves are off for me. You don't mess with my practices ever. Ever. You don't mess with my practices ever. Okay? Now, again, I'm going to, I've kept my mouth off these people for as long as possible. I've kept my temper for as long as possible. From now on, the time that you mess with my spiritual practices, the time that you mess with my craft, and the time you're trying to mess with my craft by telling other people in the village that you know are racist and that you know have a Christ complex, this is where we start to have a problem now. Because I've been nothing but respectful towards you, even when you disrespected me by imitating my laugh, by having people knock on the door, or by people knocking on the door when they know they're not supposed to, by lying about whether or not my package has arrived or something like that, or whether the postman was here, even though I fucking heard him, right? By like playing all these mind games with the rubbish and stuff outside. I let a lot of things slide. You mess with my spirituality, it's fucking war. And let it be shown on the record that I haven't called this person out their name once, that I haven't insulted them, that I haven't insulted their family, and I don't intend to. I'm going to be real. I don't intend to. But these people just outed themselves now. So now, for me, they're just like any other perp family. I mean, they always were. But now, they've given me the excuse to be more open about their perp behavior, because I always knew they were perps. I've been knowing for years, right? I've known for years that they were perps. But now, they've given me the green light to be more open about gang stalking tactics that they're employing. Because again, gang stalking is literally ruining children's lives. It's having children killed. it's having children cannibalized and all that type of stuff, like, and not in a literal way, but you have to remember these neurotechnological weapons and these directed energy weapons and these microwave weapons being aimed at the public rather than human traffickers. It's enabling criminal behavior. Because why am I being on the receiving end of all this treatment and not an actual pedophile, not a pedophile? I say actual pedophile as if, no. Why am I being subject to this treatment and not a pedophile? Why am I being subject to this treatment and not a racist? Why am I being subject to this treatment and not a rapist or a true predator? Why am I being subject to this treatment and not somebody who's an actual scumbag? There are multiple criminals like rapists and child groomers, like I said before, that have been protected by this program while you've been coming after me and shouting at the top of your lungs what I do with my spiritual practices. You're not even the only ones, because you're so desperate to find something on me that's how low you stoop. How are you this desperate to find something on me? You've literally got like predators in your own, you most likely have predators in your own family. No investigation there, right? You most likely have predators. You're more likely to find predators in the police force. You're more likely to find predators in civil services. You're more likely to find predators among the top 1% or whatever it's called. You're more likely to find predators there, but no, you want to come after me. All bets are off. All bets are off. Baby, you wanted a war, you got one. I'm sorry, but you are the aggressor and now everybody can see it. And even if it's just me ranting and just me talking about what's going on, people know from my social media that I don't fuck around. They know I don't play. The dressing down, the repeated dressing down and recording and evidence taking that I did with that last family. There are people around here who have already seen my social media and they already know. You got off light. You've got off real light so far. And thank you for your gift, by the way, even though I know exactly what that was. That was strategic so that you wouldn't have to owe me anything. Bear in mind, I didn't give you that gift because you owe me anything. You don't owe me shit. I gave you that gift because I wanted to. Because when somebody treats me with humanity, I treat them with humanity back. That's how I am. That's how I am as a woman. You only gave me that gift back so you didn't have to owe me. But again, you didn't owe me nothing in the first place. You were already kind to me at a time where I was being violent and I wanted to rip somebody's head off. You were already being civil then. You didn't owe me anything. Anybody else with a business would have come round that corner and be like, what the fuck is going on? Excuse me. Not you though. You came to me with respect and humanity. So you don't owe me anything. I don't care if I bought you flowers. You didn't owe me to get me a gift. You didn't owe me that. That's just what decent human beings do. They help each other. They take care of each other. That's what decent human beings do. But now this shit, nah. And I don't care if whose name I was yelling. It's none of anybody's fucking business. It's none of anybody's fucking business. So from now on, this is a war. And now you've exposed yourselves as more perps. And it's not even just you. People that have been visiting here too. They expose themselves as well. Now let that shit ride, man. Because these are wars I don't lose. You can ask anybody. You can ask anybody who's been a gang stalker of mine. This type of shit right here. This is a war I don't lose. At all. So, yeah, all bets are off now. All bets are off now. I'm sorry that it had to go this way. But in my position, as a targeted individual, as somebody who is by themselves, as somebody who's been, I hope this has been charging, as somebody who has been subjected to emotional destruction, as somebody who is vulnerable, as somebody who has been falsely diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic, mercy is not a thing I can afford. I'm too vulnerable for that. I'm too isolated for that. Can't afford mercy at this time. Can't afford it. Because everybody's got supporters. I don't have supporters like that. I'm by myself. But like a few people who are targeted individuals, that's who I have in my corner. I have a very small corner. I got to fight tooth and nail. So from now on, you're just like every other perp to me. You're just like every other perp to me. And now I have a license for you to be like just like every other perp because of what your customers heard. Let the games begin. Anyway, I have to admit, with them shouting their mouths off about who I've been praying to, given everything that's happened, everybody has to admit that my magic works. It fucking works. My magic to protect people, it fucking works. Even though it's not really my magic, but you understand what I'm saying. So I'm hiring, I've got services going on from the 1st of March, 50% off of my readings, of my magical works on Empress Justice Tarot and Empress Justice Astrology. Empress Justice Tarot is the main name of the hobby that I'm doing. It's been years and I've just been using it as a hobby. But I'd like to take on new clients. And you can see from the life that I've had, my shit works. If you'd like spell work, if you would like tarot readings, if you would like astrology, hit me up. My services are at Empress Justice Tarot and Empress Justice Astrology. I'm all over, so you can find what deals I'm offering in March. March is going to be quite interesting, by the way. So, yeah. Yeah. Game on. Game fucking on. And at the end of the day, yeah, just like every other perp, I'm sorry. It's disappointing because I don't know, I wanted to kind of reach out and I don't know. It's difficult when people don't, tell the truth like they're supposed to, or when people try to weaponize you against yourself. It is a shame, but again, it is what it is. Okay. Now, what else before I go? Yeah. Anyway, I gotta go. Peace and blessings. All right. I have been Empress Justice. And again, if you would like to hire my services, you can. I feel like Marsha the Great and Empress Justice Tarot and Empress Justice Astrology are going to be like a litmus test as to how well my magic works. Because I've been through a fucking lot. I've been through a lot. And look at what I was able to do. And I haven't even started yet. So, you want my services? You know where to find me. Empress Justice Tarot, Empress Justice Astrology. So, what should I do? Okay, let me just channel my guides are a little bit worried. My guys are a little bit worried because they're like, why are you bragging? Listen, man, you know, I know that like me saying that my stuff works is going to bring other witches to my doorstep. I mean, it already has, but like, you know, my guys are a little bit worried about me talking smack, right? My my guys are a little bit worried about me talking smack. But you know, I have to admit, I have been warned about that. I have been warned about that. But let's see what happens. So yeah, I've got to go. Sales are coming in March, or so we'll talk soon. Okay, I love you guys so much. Peace and blessings, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye, my darlings.